Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Hotspur Watchalong here on Stateside Footy. And God damn it, man, I'm fired up, man. Spurs versus Leeds United at Elland Road. We are, we're essentially on the precipice of yet another international break, and of course, Spurs have not won leading into the international break since 2023, and I believe that was West Ham way back when. So this has been something that it's been a little bit of a bit of an issue with Spurs. But that being said, on paper today's match against Leeds looks to be clear cut. I think we can all agree that on paper Spurs probably have the better talent, but as things have progressed over the course of the last 4 weeks, not so much, man. Not so much. Matches against Wolves, matches against Bodo Glimt, matches where we literally had the clear-cut opportunity to do some damage, and then all of a sudden it's been a struggle having to come back. And now all of a sudden we're going up against a Leeds team that has their ears pinned back a little bit. And understand, to me, this is a match where, this actually could be a statement. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing, right? Because of these recent results and because we've needed essentially the entire match just to kind of get back into a match, just in order to get fixtures, in order to get results. This is an opportunity for us to be on the front foot from the opening whistle, right? This is, I guess you can say, a match to kind of exercise multiple demons, right? Trying to exercise the demon of trying to get a win heading into an international break, exercising the demons of getting off to slow starts, or allowing an inferior opponent to get a 2-goal lead, and then all of a sudden we have to find our way back into a match, right? Today, just seems like an opportunity for us to go on the road where we're actually a little bit better than we are at home, and you'll get the 3 points and then doing it in a convincing fashion. But there are some pitfalls, man. Let me just say that right away, because as somebody that kind of, that likes to watch teams that come up from the championship, I know I'm kind of a nerd, man. I like promotion teams. There's something about them, but lately this year has something different written on it, because Leeds and Sunderland are not your typical promotion teams, right? They don't necessarily play that beautiful high possession, expansive football like they tried to do in the championship. It just doesn't work, especially when you don't necessarily have the talent to pull it off, i.e. Southampton last year. It just doesn't work, right? So Leeds kind of ditched it. They're a lot more bigger. They're a lot more physical. They're better without the ball. They're better on the counterattack. They're essentially in a position where they're like, listen, you take the ball and you try to win. We're just going to sit back and we're going to pick our moments when we're going to get forward, and we're just going to try to make you pay. And on paper, you would probably just assume that when you look at our back five, chances are pretty good that we have the goods to neutralize whatever they have going forward. That being said, again, I go back to Wolves. I go back to Bodo Glimt. That was the shit. Even in some instances, same thing with Bournemouth. We should have had the advantage to their counterattack, and yet for whatever reason we conceded goals. Right? We always have these weird lapses on the defensive side, and then all of a sudden, 10 minutes in, we're out. You know what I'm saying? We're down a goal. By the time the halftime rolls around, we're 2 down, and all of a sudden now we're in one of those type of matches where you're just kind of hoping and praying that the opponent kind of takes their foot off the gas, and maybe we can find a result. Again, today is going to be the day where we should exercise that demon. Interesting though, when I look at today's lineup, and let's go ahead and bring that up right now, I'm a little worried, man. I'm a little worried. Now, finally, Thomas Frank decided to play Xavi in the 10. And so from that aspect, I guess the question is where are we going to find that creative outlet? Well, there's Xavi. Okay, great. But that being said, Matisse Tell is going to be playing up top. What kind of version of Matisse Tell are we going to get? And whether or not Matisse Tell has the ability, not only getting forward, if we're going to try to play a little bit more direct, but does he have the goods in the box as well too. When you're when you're going to be playing off the shoulder of a couple center backs, can you find space in order to do allegedly what Matisse Tell does best, which is get on the end of crosses? Okay, fine. So if that is where the advantage is, putting the ball in the box off the right side, we know that we have it, right? Mohamed Kudus and Pedro Porro are very good in that context. Okay, fantastic. So now I'm looking at the left side. Wilson Odobert, who I would probably assume, like the majority of Spurs fans, thinks that right now Wilson Odobert is the best left back that we have available right now. Okay, fine. Now we actually have Destiny Udogie instead of Jed Spence, which I actually kind of like, right? Because Destiny Udogie can play a ball forward from the back, and he also can overlap, right? There's no need to invert. That's the issue with a guy like Jed Spence. Very good 1v1 defender, but unfortunately he has to open up his hips to get a ball forward. And of course, there's just not much overlap. There's no give and go. There's no 1-2 play on the outside, right? So from that aspect, okay, cool. There should be better movement getting forward. But that being said, can Wilson Odobert and can Destiny Udogie come good with balls in the box? Can they can they be creative? Can they create their own space to be able to play balls in, right? Also, are we going to get central runners in, right? Same, the question is what Rodrigo Betancourt, right? Is he going to, is he essentially going to play the same role as we've seen over the course of the last 3 weeks, or are we going to see maybe a little bit more of a dangerous Rodrigo Betancourt getting forward? Same thing with Xavi as well too. Is he going to try to make is he going to try to play his way into the box as well too, right? So that's the question that I have today. On paper, this should be enough to get a result against Leeds on the road. That's my conclusion. But that being said, usually these matches don't play out the way that I think they're going to play, unfortunately. So the biggest issue that I've had is that there's going to be a certain time where we're going to be in a position where we're going to have to try to break teams down, and it almost seems like we run out of ideas midway through the match before a Hail Mary cross goes in, and all of a sudden you see a guy like Mickey Van de Ven get on the end of one, and all of a sudden we get one back. But that being said, this is going to be a situation where we can't afford to get into that situation. We're going to have to be the aggressor today, which means we're going to have to try to play Mohamed Kudus onto the ball off the right side. We're going to have to try to play Matisse Tell onto a ball centrally as well too. Like, we're going to have to be able to do things that potentially make some of these guys uncomfortable in order to get this message across, right? There has to be a clear-cut plan in place for this one today in order for Spurs to be able to get the full 3. And by the way, they need the full 3. I don't care what anybody says. This has been a lackluster start. We are dropping points left and right to teams that we have no business dropping points to. And the last thing that I want to see today is Spurs drop points to Leeds. Regardless, right? They're a newly promoted team, and I understand it's a different look that Leeds has given this Premier League in the early portion. But again, I don't give a shit where we're sitting in the table. I don't give a shit where they're sitting in the table, because we know exactly where Leeds is going to finish by the end of the season. And these are the type of teams that you literally cannot drop points to. I just do not give a shit. This is, that would be inexcusable. We dropped too many points so far, and now all of a sudden we're getting into the portion of the schedule where games are going to come thick and fast. And the last thing I want to see is this team put in a position where they're going to have to figure out a way to climb back up the table. Against teams that are far and away, better than us. And I don't want to see this team be put in that position, right? Like, if you want to consider yourself a good team, these are the type of matches where you need to take all 3 points, plain and simple. Taking a look at Leeds real quick. Again, Leeds is a much better team than they were in the championship, and I know that's saying quite a bit. considering that Leeds were one of the better championship teams in the last 20 years. But that being said, they made a tremendous amount of improvement. As a matter of fact, they got bigger, they got more physical. They got away from the expansive football that made them successful, and they're actually playing better without the ball than they are with the ball. They are far more compact than they were last year, and they're actually a little bit better getting forward on the counterattack. Right? They pick and choose when they want to get forward. And say what you will about their midfield three. But that being said, there's a level of consistency in their midfield three. And there's a little bit of consistency with some of the guys that are getting forward, right? Okafor and Brendan Aronson have the ability to get behind, right? And as we saw midweek with Pedro Porro playing off that right hand side, there was space created outside to put shots on net, and that's going to be. That has the potential to be an Achilles heel because we have a goalkeeper that's a little uncomfortable stopping shots from the outside, right? Okafor is actually not a bad player. Same thing with Aronson, right? The question is, are we going to allow a dude like Dominic Calvert-Lewin to get in and be dangerous, right? That's kind of the question, right? When I look at that front three versus our back five, I would probably like to say that on paper we have the advantage, but sometimes it hasn't played out that way. And all of a sudden, guys that you wouldn't expect, to score goals, all of a sudden do that against this back five. Listen, man, I'm not a big fan of their back four, but that being said, they're going to sit deep. And the question is whether Matisse Tell, Wilson Odobert, Xavi Simons, and Mohamed Kudus, is that going to be good enough? Is that going to be consistent enough to break down their back four, especially at home, where Leeds is actually really good? Very good question. Very good question. Leeds, by the way, is setting up in a 4-3-3. In goal for them is going to be Darlow. Their back four is Gudmundsson, Struik, Rodon, and Bogle. Their midfield three is going to be Stoch, Ampadu, and Longstaff. And then, of course, Okafor, Calvert-Lewin, and Brendan Aronson is going to be up top. On paper, again, man, on paper. It looks like we have the advantage. But then again, when has that ever stopped us from dropping points? It's a very good question. All right, so we are currently I want to say we're about a good 15 minutes out from this kick, and I want to let you guys know to make sure you hit that like and subscribe buttons because again, man, every single week we're coming at you with the Hotspur Watchalong as we settle in and we figure out exactly what this team is all about. The interesting thing about it is, as of right now, our attacking four is incomplete, and we're trying to find results. We're trying to find, a sense of stability that is going to allow us to, be far and away more dangerous than we have. And as of right now, it's incomplete because of injury. And I understand that's not an excuse. I get it, but it is the reality. Our striking core right now is literally Matisse Tell, and Richarlison. And of course, Matisse Tell is being rotated in because Richarlison looked a little leggy against Bodo Glimt. Okay, fine. Fair enough. But that being said, we also have an issue on the left-handed side as well, too. And because of it, the creativity has been lacking. And then, of course, we're also very one-dimensional because the only member of the attacking three that's worth a damn has been Mohamed Kudus, and defense have literally just overload one side of the ball, essentially daring us to be, dangerous from the other side. And of course, we can't find goals from that. We can't find goals from that area. So essentially, what's going to end up happening is it will get better. It will get better because we will get Dominic Solanke back. We will get Randall Kolo Muani back. We will get Dejan Kulusevski back. And at that point, I would probably assume that Thomas Frank is actually going to have his best 11 out there, match in, match out. And I don't think that at that point, I don't think that's going to be much of an issue, because we're not going to be in a position where we're going to look one-dimensional. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how that plays out. But is there a situation where we're going to be able to tread better water at that point to get us to the January window? 100%. I have no doubt in my mind. But in the meantime, we don't have those guys, and we probably won't until we get back off the international break. And I'm questioning whether or not Dominic Slanky, his ankle is going to be ready to go in 2 weeks. I would probably assume that Randall Kolobawani is probably going to be the first back from the medical room, and at that case, you wonder whether or not maybe Richarlison gets moved off to the left-hand side in the meantime, and it allows Xavi to train day in and day out as the primary 10. And I think at that point there's going to be a little bit more stability. And it's something that we just don't have at the moment. That's the biggest problem, right? When you look at Thomas Frank and how he wants to play, he wants to be a little bit more direct centrally, right? Which means that we're going to have a 9 that has the ability to hold the ball up and distribute. I think that's something that Dominic Slanky is definitely going to be able to provide us. The question is whether Randall Kolomwani fits that profile, or is that more of a profile of a Richarlison? We have yet to see it. That being said, when he went to Juventus, they didn't necessarily play this style, right? So it's going to be interesting to see exactly, what kind of dimension he is going to be able to provide us. But that being said, once we get a Kulusevski back, that gives us more options in the midfield. And I would probably assume that once the midfield 3 is settled, and we know exactly who the rotation is going to be, who's going to be playing week in and week out, that actually improves the attacking 3, because it's going to give us a central dimension that we're absolutely missing right now. It's one of the things that we just don't have with no disrespect to Rodrigo Betancourt. It's just something that we just don't have, right? And unfortunately, we're seeing from the midfield, we're seeing more recycling than we're actually seeing balls forward. And I don't know if that is what's being asked or whether or not it is down to the player. And because of it, our attacking 3 looks weak, because we're seeing balls played out wide. We're not seeing balls direct in. And so unfortunately, if we don't necessarily have the ability to play from out to in and be far more direct, unfortunately, it's going to continue to be a problem. But that being said, I will err on the side of caution that it will get better as this thing moves on. The question is whether or not the question for me today is whether or not we're going to find consistency on both sides. Because if this is a situation where we're going to have to rely on the wing to play the ball in, is this going to be more or less again what we saw against Bodo Glimt, which is one-dimensional football, and we're going to struggle for 60 minutes? I don't know, man. I want to be positive. I really do. I really want to be positive. I'm trying to psych myself into it, but there's a reason why I actually predicted a 2-2 draw. Because I just feel like this is going to be more of the same of what we saw the last couple of weeks, where Leeds gets off to a hot start. They lull themselves into a false sense of comfort, take their foot off the gas, and we're able to find 2 second-half goals in order to pull this thing level. I hate to be that's where I'm at right now. I would love to be proven wrong. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know how you guys feel about this attacking forward today. I know that a lot of fans are excited because Xavi is actually starting in the 10, where I think a lot of people feel like when he's moved out left, it kind of takes away his best attributes. So from that standpoint, you're wondering whether or not he could potentially be the engine of this attack and get forward with purpose. But then again, a lot of there's going to be a lot of moving parts with this one today, and I question Wilson Odebear. Although I do agree that Wilson's probably the best option on the left. I would agree with that. But that being said, it's like, you wonder whether or not there's going to be a want from Wilson Odebear to challenge his defender, go 1v1, and try to create space and try to be dangerous. Or is this going to be a situation where we're going to see what we've seen from that left-hand side, which is a lot of backwards passes, and not enough gusto to try to get around the defender and try to play one in. So we'll see. But what I will say from this standpoint is we have to be the aggressor from the opening whistle. Where we have to go down, we have to challenge their fullbacks, we have to challenge their center backs, and if that means balls over the top, I want to see it. I really want to see this one, and I want to see exactly if Matisse Tell has learned his lessons. We'll see. So let me know exactly how you guys feel about this one today. I have it at a 2-2 draw, but that being said, if you think this one's going to be an easier fixture, let me know how you feel about that one. Let's go ahead and take a look around the Premier League today, just to do that. I'm curious about match week 7 today. Yesterday, Bournemouth beat Fulham 3-1, and it looks like Antoine Semenyo had himself a match, pulling in a brace in the 78th minute, and of course the 90+6. Justin Kluivert scored in the 84th. Ryan Sessegnon scored a 70-minute goal, and Bournemouth takes the 3. Today, Leeds takes on Spurs coming up in just a few minutes. Manchester United hosts Sunderland. That is an interesting one, too. This feels like Sunderland's about to pick up another 3 points. I don't know, man. I think Man United is in absolute terrible shape. And the question is if they drop 3 at home to Sunderland, is that the end of the Ruben Amorim tenure at Manchester United? And by the way, I swear to God, I hope Oliver Glasner does not bite and go to Manchester United. That would be absolutely dreadful. Arsenal hosts West Ham, so that should be 3 for the Gunners. Liverpool travel down to Stamford Bridge to take on Chelsea. Palace goes up to Everton tomorrow at 9. Forest takes on Newcastle. Brighton takes on Wolves. Burnley's at Aston Villa, and Manchester City plays. Looks like they're playing Brentford at the G-Tech. So very interesting slate of games this week in the Premier League. And let me tell you, there's going to be a lot of movement, right? Because this is the point of the schedule where you actually do see some movement. And as of right now, Spurs are sitting in 5th. Not bad, but it could have been better. One of the things that absolutely bugs me is the fact that when I looked at the schedule, and you're looking at I guess you can say the first 8 to 10 matches in the Premier League, and you're kind of going over the teams. It's like the only teams that I was looking at that posed us a problem was Man City on the road and then Brighton on the road. Outside of that, there was not one team that I thought that was truly better than us. And especially when the Champions League fixtures came out, I was like, we're not necessarily going to be in a position where we're going to be tested until we hit Monaco. And sure enough, it has not played out that way. Now, whether or not you agree with the rotation of Thomas Frank, I understand exactly why he was doing it. And I think it became a matter of trying to find out who his best 11 was. I don't think we're actually at that stage. And whether or not you agree with the rotation, it is what it is. But that being said, it's like we have missed a massive opportunity, right? Like maximum points we should have taken. We should have taken the 3 off Wolves. We should have taken the 3 off Brighton. And when I was looking at this, and I'm like, man, there's a good opportunity where we're gonna have to try to play from behind because we're gonna drop way too many points before we actually hit the bulk of the schedule where we're actually playing teams that are night and day better than us. That's my biggest worry. Like we missed the opportunity to bank serious points and put ourselves in a position where we can actually stay within the top 6. Even if we drop a match or two against some of the heavies, we miss the opportunity where we can bank points. And I just wonder if that's going to come back and bite us, because I have a feeling that, I hate to say it, man, we're going to be in a position where we're going to see ourselves in 12th, and we're going to need a cup run in order to save this season. I just, a big part of me, I look at this and I'm like, God damn it, did we miss an opportunity to really put ourselves in a position for European play this upcoming year? Did we miss an opportunity by not putting those points away early? Now, granted, we'll have another opportunity because, obviously in the second half, these reverse fixtures will come into play. And who knows, maybe we'll be a little bit better of a team where we might be able to finish strong and climb our way back in. But at that point, it's like, the question is, by dropping the points that we did, by dropping 7 points already to these teams that are at the bottom of the table, did we put ourselves in a position where maybe a recovery is not in the books this year? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I want to welcome Nate Holloway, who's in the chat, who says, "What's up, RIFC, Mr. Rhode Island?" I love it, man. Good to see you today. Curious about how you feel about this one against Leeds. Clearly, on paper, we're the better team, but it is what it is. We will find out exactly what this team is made of today against a team that literally is putting themselves in a position to take the 3 today at home before the international break. It would be a statement, right? That's the one thing I think people are missing here, is the fact that we are Tottenham Hotspur and we are a big club. And this is, we have a target on our backs. And this is an opportunity for a team like Leeds to make a statement against I guess you can say, a big club. And whether or not we're up for the fight, whether or not we're up for the challenge today, in order to actually show no, we don't drop points. Nate says, congratulations on 300. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. And by the way, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons, because this channel's growing, man. And I'm absolutely thankful for those that have. So it looks like the players are on the pitch, and smash the like button, man. Road to 500. I like it. I like it, man. I like it. It's interesting because I don't know how I feel with Rodrigo Betancourt in the starting lineup. Now, granted, I like Betancourt playing alongside Polina more than I like, say, a Lucas Bergvall. I like Bergvall, by the way. I really do. But sometimes Bergvall is a little too big for his britches, and he almost finds himself out of position. And because of it, we're left a little wide open. And because of that, it's just, we make ourselves easy to pick apart. So from that standpoint, I'm all right with Betancourt. But there's a part of me that feels like potentially a Papsar or potentially an Archie Gray against certain opponents might be the better call. But that being said, it's like, especially once Kulusevski comes back, there's the answer, right? Kulusevski is the engine, right? And I think that's something that we're missing. Kulusevski is the guy that gets forward. Kulusevski with his left foot is the guy that's not afraid to try things in the middle of the park, right? That's something that I think we're absolutely missing. Whereas Rodrigo Betancourt seems to be far more passive. Like I'm struggling to find the last time that Betancourt had that type of performance from the middle of the park, where he's actually trying shit, where he's getting forward, where he's trying to put himself in positions where maybe his touch might actually, break lines. I'm struggling to remember the last time he actually had that type of match. And I wonder, what I'm struggling to figure out what type of impact he's going to have today. I don't know, man. I don't know. And because that to me was the one thing that prior to the injury, that's something that he did quite well. He was actually effective. He was actually putting himself in a position where he was actually scoring goals. He was getting a little bit higher up the pitch and using his passing ability to actually have an effect. And we're off here at Elland Road. as Vicario will play that ball forward. And that'll settle in. Now Spurs hold possession here. And looks like Nate Holloway says 2-1 for Spurs. As that ball was played forward, but it'll get out. And it looks like this will be a Leeds goal kick here. As it looks like Leeds is going to be playing from the back here, which I like. As that ball gets played forward, as that goes over the head, as Van de Ven tries to play it forward. As Leeds will try to play it down the right-hand side, that one gets turned over. Ooh. And Polina gets bullied off the ball there. And now Leeds is going to try to play one up the right-hand side to Brendan Aronson. And that does get out, but was there a whistle prior? Actually, looks like that might have been Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Absolutely, that was Dominic. He gets bullied off the ball. And VDV will play this long. As that ball ping-pongs through the midfield. But here's Destiny Udogie now with space off the left-hand side. Here's Odebear. Plays it forward to Udogie. Udogie tries to go inside. There's just nobody there. So far, so good off the left-hand side. So far. Not bad. As that ball is going to try to get shot up the left-hand side for Leeds. Ooh, that was almost a turnover. Good positioning by VDV. And here's Udogie trying to lay it forward to Xavi. Actually, it was Udogie. It was Odebear right there. As that goes off the feet, so this will be a Leeds throw in here. So it looks like both teams are trying to see what kind of muscle they have as that ball gets played back. And Leeds will play it all the way back to their keeper. As now they're going to try up the left-hand side. Spurs do a good job to collapse on the ball. Leeds retains possession, but it looks like Spurs are coming right after Leeds. As that ball gets popped over off the left-hand side. 1v1 against Porro. And it looks like Romero will clear as Okafor tried to get in the box there. But Romero was there to clean it up. Well, that's kind of what I want to see. Because, by the way, when, in the Champions League with Kevin Danso, man, that was a problem off the left-hand side. As Leeds will set up for a corner here. Their first of the match. That ball gets played in. Ooh. As that one went wide left. As we see it again. That was just mishit. Ooh, and it looked like it ricocheted off one of his teammates' heads. As play resumes, as this one is going to get played to Romero now. As Porro will play it forward. That's a good ball over the top. But Leeds will take this one back. As it gets played back to their keeper. Spurs are doing a good job of being in position on the long ball there, making it a little difficult for Leeds to get forward. Spurs are pressing pretty nice as well, too. as Leeds is on the back foot here. As now they're going to try to play this one up the left-hand side here. And there's going to be a whistle on Pedro Porro against Okafor. As Okafor beats Kudus. Tries to beat Porro. And now there's going to be a free kick here. And I believe this is going to be what, Sean Longstaff taking the free kick. There's Joe Rodon, former Spur. So we're about 6 minutes in here. Leeds have had 2 set pieces. As that ball gets played in, back post. Ooh. As Leeds retains possession. Ooh. And it looks like Stoik got on the end of that one right there. As that ball went in, as we look at that replay, it was Rodon that got on the end of it at the back post, but he clinks it off the back post. Shit, that was nearly a goal, unmarked. God damn. As that ball gets played out right here, so Spurs will have a throw on the right side here. As Porro will play this back to Romero. So Leeds, so far, getting forward, looking pretty goddamn good off the set pieces. And here's Udogie. As that one gets played out, as this will be Destiny Udogie. Looks like plays it into Palhinha. And Romero's going to play this one back to Vicario. And Spurs reset here. Here's Xavi, who comes deep to make a touch here. Ooh. As Leeds does a very good job of pressing. And that ball's taken away in the midfield. And now Leeds will reset. As that ball goes down the right-hand side, far too wide for Bogle to take that touch, as Rodon was trying to play him forward off the right-hand side, so that gets out. And it'll be a Spurs throw-in. As that ball gets thrown in high. Good touch right there. Oh, nice layoff. Here comes Spurs now. Here's Xavi, who's going to play it out to the right. And Spurs have to play this one back. That's a good pass forward. Cuts in. Still on the ball. That gets played all the way to the left. Here's Odebear, who plays it central. Oh, that's a nice ball forward. That ball gets played in. There's nobody there. Shoots. Ooh, that was Palhinha who puts one over the bar. Good ball movement by Spurs right there. And it looked like Kudus tried to play one in off the right-hand side, but it falls right to Palhinha, who's sitting right outside the box. And Polina tried to put a screamer on, but that one goes into orbit. But it's actually kind of encouraging there. Good ball movement by Spurs getting forward. As this one will go back to Vicario. And now will be Mikey Van de Ven. As Spurs will try to do this again. As it's Betancourt back to VDV. And it looks like Spurs want to play this one down the right-hand side. And they do. That's a good ball forward. Trying to get Kudus onto it, but a little too far forward. Good thought. Good thought. Using the speed and pace of Mohamed Kudus, but that ball's got to be delivered just a little bit better from Pedro Porro. And again, Spurs will try to reset as that one went long and Vicario was there. And now it'll be Betancourt. Ooh, that's a nice little ball forward, too. Here comes Kudus, who beats his man. Kudus. Oh, good play. Good play on the outside. As Kudus gets his back pocket picked. And here comes Leeds. Oh, that one's taken away from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And Spurs will get the opportunity off the right-hand side as Kudus is going to play one in. Ooh. And can Spurs hold it in? No, they don't. Ooh. Ooh. There's a whistle. As Brendan Aronson finds the turf as it was. Ooh, it was Christian Romero being a little physical with the American. As Leeds will restart here. Ooh. And it looks like Leeds is attacking with a back three, so it's interesting. It's like they're attacking in a 3-4-3. Interesting. Interesting. I think I got time for that. As Spurs will play this one out of the back, and it's Porro. And that one was quickly taken away. And I believe that was Matisse Tell trying to go up and trying to compete for that one. But Leeds nonetheless. So there's a turnover in the mid. And it's Matisse. Oh, good ball forward. Here's Odebear trying to beat his man. Ooh, that ball's blocked. Good ball forward right there. Where's that Kudus? Oh, yeah, it was Kudus. Yeah. That was good. By the way, that was a great ball right through the mid. Good turnover. Good transition right there. But that being said, man, you can't take that extra second. That ball's got to come right off the foot. As Leeds now is pressing Vicario. It's VDB. Here's the Udoge. And Udoge is going to play one forward as Odebear gets bullied. Ooh, that ball goes direct. Aronson. That ball gets taken away. Here comes Spurs. Here's Xavi. Xavi's trying to play it off the left. Here's Udoge in the box. Udoge. Ooh, it's deflected. Here's Xavi. There's and it looks like Polinia gets blocked. As Pedro Porro will play it out to the right now. Trying to chip it over. Looks like Kudus was trying to chip it over his defender, but it goes out. That was a really good pass right there from Simmons between two defenders. And Udoji put one on. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Now all of a sudden we just have to finish now. Okay. Okay, so there's space out left now, huh? All right. I like it. As that ball gets played in. And there's a ball in. Headed up. Matisse Tell tried to play it. But it'll still be Spurs possession as they hold it in. Here's Xavi. Beats his man. Xavi plays it out to the left. And it looks like it's going to be offside. And yeah, it looks like Udoji was way offside. Yeah, 100%. He was a full body length offside. Yeah. Good run, though. Good idea. Just mistimed. But there is space. That's encouraging. So we're about 16, 17 minutes in. And both teams have had pretty decent looks at net. For Leeds, it's been two set pieces. Nothing really from the run of play. So I guess that's encouraging. And for Spurs, they've actually found pockets, man. They found nice pockets in which to exploit. So the question is, is that going to be available as this match moves on? That's a nice little pass right there. Give and go. Here's Aronson playing one over. Ooh, good defense by Spurs. Looks like that ball's going to get deflected off of Pedro Porro right there, as that ball was played to the left-hand side. And it looks like Leeds has won themselves their second corner. But good defense right at the top of the 18-yard box. They're not conceding the long shot, which was kind of a worry of me. That's actually quite nice. No free looks. Although Brendan Aronson did get a ball across, but kudos to our center backs for taking care of that one. As that ball finds the back post, it's Polinia that heads that one out. So this will be a Leeds throw-in. This match has a nice blow to it. There's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, DCL. As that ball gets thrown in. Good throw. As that ball gets cleared. As that ball gets played to the right. Taken away. Here comes Xavi. Coming down the left-hand side. Xavi trying to find a runner. And Xavi's going to have to play this one back. Here's Polinia. And it's Romero. As Romero plays it back to VDV. And now it's Polinia with space. Plays it off to the left. It's Udoji. As Brendan Aronson closes down on him, Spurs have to recycle again. As Romero plays it to the right-hand side. And that ball's going to have to play back to Romero. Spurs try to figure out a way in here. Here's VDV. Nice direct pass to Xavi. Here's Xavi in the box. Trying to beat his man, and he goes down. I like it. Good run off the left-hand side from Xavi. But that being said, there were no central runners with him. Couldn't find a distribution outlet here. Here's Wilson Odebear now as he's trapped. And now VDV is going to have to play this one forward. And he does. And it looked like Matisse Tell tried to close it down. But Leeds will hold possession here. So we're 20 minutes in. And it looks like Spurs aren't trying to press high as they did as they started the match. As Leeds, there we go. There we go. As there's going to be a whistle now. Almost lulled into a false sense of security right there. As soon as they played the ball left, Kudus came up and made a challenge there. As Stach hits the turf. And Kudus will take a yellow right there. Maybe a little too aggressive. So 20 minutes in. Spurs actually have not been playing terrible. Looks like they actually have the focus and the energy. Now it's just trying to put the finishing touches. As that ball is going to get played forward. There's a shot. Ooh! Is that Matisse Tell? Is that Matisse Tell? It is. It's Matisse Tell who finds the goal from the angle. Woo! And my earbud came out. How about Matisse Tell? Wow. What a goal. As that ball was played direct from Mohamed Kudus, finds Matisse Tell. That was actually a brilliant goal right there. As it looks like he beat Stach right there. Makes a touch and then rifles a shot. That actually gets tipped. That actually gets tipped past their keeper. Ooh, that was a goal. That was a great goal right there. How about Matisse? So Spurs take a 1-0 lead here in the 23rd minute. It kind of fooled me for a second because that ball gets tipped, and I thought it actually got tipped wide. But no, it gets tipped past the keeper. And Spurs do take the early lead here. And this is exactly what we wanted to see. Good vision right there. Good aggression from Matisse Tell. As Leeds now will play one in, and it goes far wide, past the back post. And now they're going to have to reset. Here's Brendan Aronson off the right side. Tries to play one in. That gets deflected. Now here comes Spurs on the break. As that ball gets played forward for Xavi. But it's just a little too far forward. Right idea, though. Bad pass. That's just what we like to call a little too weighted. But Spurs do take a 1-0 lead off a midfield turnover. And it looked like Mohamed Kudus who played Matisse Tell forward. As he pulled up, made a touch, put one on, and it gets tipped past the keeper. That was a good goal. That was a very good goal. Here comes Spurs again as they take one away. And now this one gets played back to Vicario. Oh, that one's a turnover in the box. Shoots! As Dominic Calvert-Lewin puts one over the crossbar. Oh, that almost was a mistake right there. It looks like there was a miscommunication between Rodrigo Betancourt. And potentially, looks like Pedro Porro. Nearly a miss. Excuse me, near goal right there from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But Leeds ramping up the pressure. That's a good pass right there to Odegaard. As Odegaard turns and tries to play one forward, and he finds, here's Destiny Udogie all alone in the box. Here's Udogie, plays it off. And Mohamed Kudus pushes it wide. Spurs had a beautiful break right there. The ball was laid off brilliantly to Kudus, who just pushes it wide. Oh, yeah, he like the home dude opening his body way too much right there. I don't think Kudus is going to get a better opportunity than that. God damn it. And now all of a sudden, Spurs are now actually open. Taking advantage of Leeds. As that ball goes forward. And it was played out right there by Mikey Van de Ven on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. DCL. Good response right there from Mikey, closing it down. As this will be a throw-in for Leeds, and it looks like it'll be Ethan Ampadu throwing it in, but looks like Dominic Calvert-Lewin here is limping. As Ampadu will play this one into the box. There's nobody there. That gets cleared away. Now it'll be a foot race as that goes out. And Ampadu will quickly throw this one back in. As Leeds will try to play this down the right-hand side. Spurs do lead 1-0, but over the course of the last 10 minutes, Spurs unable to find space off the right-hand side as Matisse Tell scored a brilliant goal. They have done a very good job as well, taking away some of the passing lanes from Leeds, as that one was just a bad touch right there by Okafor. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin is still hobbling a little. Ooh, a little bit of a stinger there. But yeah, Leeds' back line is a little open. It's allowing runners to get forward, especially off that right-hand side. Spurs have done a good job, but also let's not act like the left-hand side isn't wide open as well too. Speaking of which, there's a ball that's going to get played down the left-hand side. It's Udogie. Plays it in. Immediately, Leeds clears it. Spurs have actually done a very good job of exploiting both flanks. There's nothing but acres of space. As that one goes to Romero. Come on, play it forward. There you go. Good touch. Off the right-hand side. Nice play inside. It's Kudus. Kudus plays one. Back post. Wilson Odeberg was there. He was on side 2. Oh, Wilson. God damn it, he was there. He was there. You got to finish it, bud. It hits your foot. There's a turnover right there. Oh, wonderful. Here comes Spurs forward. Trying to, oh, that was nice deflection. No, immediately taken away from Betancourt as Spurs have a man down. As that ball goes out right to Brendan Aronson. And now there's a whistle as Matisse Tell is down. And it looks like Longstaff is down. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. As the physios rush to Matisse Tell. And Polina put a nice little elbow check on Longstaff. He should be fine. As we see Matisse Tell. And it looks like Matisse is fine. And it looks like maybe they're checking his knee, maybe his shin. I would assume that Matisse Tell will be fine. On replay, it didn't necessarily look like it was serious. Looks like Daniel Fark is looking on here. That's one ugly looking dude. And it looks like Matisse Tell is up and he's limping a little bit. Maybe it was the ankle. Either way, Matisse Tell is up and it looks like he's walking this one off. Yeah, I should be fine. As this will be a free kick to Leeds. And Spurs cannot afford to lose their composure here. As Longstaff looks like Longstaff is going to be settling over this free kick here. As it looks like the whistle is blown. Longstaff has his arm up. And here's this ball that's going to get played to the side here. Headed forward. And now cleared by Spurs. And this will get played back to Leeds keeper. And now Leeds will try to reset here. And we will see just what they have in store as that ball's going to get played in. There's a shot. Oh, good save. Back post goal. God damn it. And it's Okafor. As Leeds equalize. As they absolutely neglected the back post there. Initial good shot right there. As they gave space off the right side. As Bogle put one in. Brendan Aronson actually was the one that put the shot on. The question was Okafor offside? Ooh, good question. As he absolutely punishes. Nope, good goal. As Spurs again Switched off defensively. Who was responsible for Okafor? Unbelievable. All of a sudden, 12 minutes later, Leeds equalizes. And now all of a sudden we have ourselves a good game. Again, you have to pay attention. And all of a sudden that goal breathes new life into Leeds. And it looks like it's Aronson playing it forward. Here's Bogle. And Leeds resets here. Here's Aronson. And there's a whistle. Unbelievable. Spurs concede. Giving far too much space off the right-hand side for Bogle to put one in. Initially a good save on Aronson by Vicario, but unbelievable. That Okafor was just essentially left unmarked at the back post to equalize, to pick up that rebound. And now Okafor goes down, and they're going to whistle this one on Mohamed Kudus, who, by the way, already has a yellow. Unreal. As Spurs now will play out of the back. That's a nice little that one's taken away. As that gets played centrally. There's the shot. That's blocked. The rebound that goes over the crossbar. So this will be a goal kick to Spurs, but god damn it, man. It looked like there was this had a potential for Spurs to pull away. Good deflection by Betancourt. But all of a sudden, Leeds finds their way back into this one with the equalizing goal off a rebound, as Okafor was just left unmarked at the back post. Unreal. As is Pedro Porro now. As Kudus tried to hold it up, there's a turnover. Here comes Leeds. In the box, plays it off to the left. That ball's going to go back post. There's nobody there. As Bogle will be responsible for this throw in here. Nope, it'll be Ampadu. Mr. Ethan Ampadu. As looks like Romero's down, trying to put his shoe back on. A lost boot. 38 minutes in. This match is all draw at 1. As it looks like we're about to be ready for this throw in here. As Ampadu will throw this into the box. Headed up. And there'll be a race for it. Oh. It came down to Aronson. I thought for a second, man, there might be a nice little ball winner right there. Unfortunately, Leeds wins it and now hold possession. Good Lord, man. Spurs can't concede here as we get down to the end of the first half here in the 39th minute. So we're about 6 minutes away from the half. Spurs got started early on a goal from Matisse Tell. Nice goal. 12 minutes later, Leeds equalize. And there's a turnover right here. Here comes Aronson trying to play it down. Looks like he finds Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, that one goes out. That'll be a Spurs throw-in. And we have a yellow on João Palhinha. That's a late yellow. Yeah, okay. That's actually that has to be a Maybelline, a makeup. I don't know. That looked like a clean tackle to me. That looked like a pretty clean tackle, but nonetheless, Polina gets the caution there. Spurs will have the throw in here off the left-hand side. As that one gets played in. And Leeds will come down with this one in the mid. Pushing forward off the left-hand side. Oh, nice sliding tackle right there by Bentancur. And now there's going to be a whistle as Bentancur. Looks like he made an unnecessary tackle. Now, get up, dude. Get up, dude. You're fine. Yeah, you're fine. It's Gudmundsson. Hits the deck, but come on, man. Once I see a player roll 4 times, yeah, you're not hurt. Ever since that Okafor goal, all of a sudden it kind of breathed new life into Leeds. They look a little bit more energetic getting forward. Meanwhile, Spurs have kind of lost them their mojo going forward. They actually were finding very good space on both flanks. Oh, and VDV gets, yeah, there you go. That has to be a whistle. Against Dosh, it is. As he tried to bully VDV off the ball. Not bad. Not a bad acting job from VDV right there. But as I was saying, yeah, Leeds, that goal kind of breathed a little new life into Leeds. And now Spurs aren't necessarily getting forward with the same amount of gusto as they did right after they scored. Looks like Spurs were taking very good advantage of the space that was given. And now all of a sudden, they're finding life difficult getting forward. As it looks like there's going to be a whistle against Mohamed Kudus. As Kudus hit the deck. So this will be a free kick for Spurs, and it looks like Pedro Porro will be taking the this deep free kick off the right. Let's go Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. As that ball gets played in, back post, headed forward, finds Xavi. 1v1 off the left-hand side, Xavi. Lays it off to Polina. Back to Xavi now. Here's Xavi. Finds Bentancur. Bentancur's going to take a rip. And that goes high. As we are in the 44th minute now. As we are very close to the halftime whistle. Spurs got on the board first with a nice goal from Matisse Tell. But since then, it feels like it's been all Leeds. As there's a whistle there. So this will be a Spurs restart. Here's Pedro Porro now. We'll play it forward. Here's Kudus. Trying to beat his man. As that goes out, it'll be a Spurs throw in here. as Kudus immediately will play it in, as that gets played back to Mikey van de Ven, who swings it down to Udoge. Here's Wilson Odebear. Odebear is going to try to play this one forward. Lays it off. Finds Xavi. Nice little flick in. Ooh! Ooh! Oh! As Matisse Tell almost had a double right there. And it looks like that went off the crossbar. Oh. Oh. Matisse. That was a good flick on. That freed Odebear, who put one on. Oh. Oh, Matisse, you got to score right there. Oh. He had an open left side of the net and puts it off the crossbar. As Leeds will play this one forward. As Spurs will get the ball back here. Up the left-hand side. Here comes Odebear. Odebear. That gets taken away. Good play right there. And there's a whistle against Xavi. 4 minutes of stoppage time here. Plenty of time here for a second goal. As Bogle will take the restart here. And Leeds now will have possession. There you go. There you go. Start applying a little pressure here. That one gets played all the way back to the keeper. So the Leeds will reset here as that ball gets played a little centrally here. And now that all of a sudden there's a whistle. It looks like this is going against Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And I'm trying to figure out why, what the issue was. But nonetheless, it'll be a free kick for Spurs here. As that one gets played forward, it's Kudus trying to make the turn. He does. 1v3. And he stays on the ball. Wow. Here's Kudus now. And that one's taken away. Ooh. The Spurs take it away off the right-hand side. And now it'll go to Udoji on the left. Here's Wilson Odebear trying to play it forward to Xavi. That gets played out by Bogle. It'll be a Spurs throw-in here as we're approaching minute 49. Here's Rodrigo Betancourt. As that one will go all the way to the left. Here's Odebear. And that's the half. Oh. Oh. Spurs had multiple chances in this first half. I did like the first 25 minutes from Spurs, as they were doing a very good job of exploiting space on both flanks, getting good balls in, a lot of encouraging play. But unfortunately, Spurs conceded at the worst time, giving Leeds a little, breathing in a little life right there. But it looked like Spurs right there towards the end of the first half kind of reset their bearings right there, and were able to be a little bit more goal dangerous. Before we get into the half, I am going to take a quick little break. Let's find it real quick. And we'll be back in just a second.
Let me talk to you. A little reference there. But I'm going to stop messing about. I'm going to talk to you about private internet access, the best VPN in the land. Now, when you're online, you may not realize, but all of your data is there for the taking by anybody. With a VPN such as private internet access, your data is safe and secure, streamlined, and nobody else can get hold of it. That's why I use one anyway. VPN's very easy to use. Private internet access, all you got to do is log on your phone, select where you want to be. So I want to be in America, and I click go, and there we are. You can also link up your devices to it from your phone if that is easier for you. It's available on a lot of platforms as well. As you can see, you can use it for a very, very big range of things. So that's even better as well. You can use it, like I said, on all your devices, smartphone, tablets, gaming consoles, and stick it on your modem. And it's unlimited devices. One equals all. It's available all across the world, and it works perfectly. What they do is they mask your IP address, so pesky 3 o'clock kickoffs aren't an issue anymore, and they're independently audited, so there's no logs, 30 million customers, and 4.5-star Trustpilot rated excellent review. Private internet access. Get yours now.
Absolutely. Private internet access. Why pay shitloads of money for a VPN and not get your bang for the buck? As far as VPNs go, private internet access is definitely the way to go. Check out their rates, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. All right, so Spurs Leeds 1-1 at the half. And again, it was looking like, it looks like Spurs were dominating for a very good portion of that first half. As far as scoring opportunities, it looks like Spurs were definitely on the front foot. But that being said, Leeds was able to get one back, and that's where we stand at the half. Let's go ahead and take a look at the halftime stats. And as far as possession is concerned, Leeds leads the possession battle 53-47. They also lead the XG battle 1.26 to 0.39. Total shots, Leeds 8, Spurs 6. Shots on target, 2-1 lead. Big chances, 2-1 leads. And, of course, big chances missed, 1-1 even. Accurate passes, Leeds 178, Spurs 160. Fouls committed, Spurs 6, Leeds 4. And, of course, they lead the corner battle 2-0. Let's go ahead and get a little bit inside the shots total. Obviously, 8-6 total. Shots on target 2-1. Shots off target 5-4 Leeds. Shots inside the box 6, Spurs 3. Shots outside the box 3-2. From that standpoint, passes total Leeds 212, Spurs 192. Passes in the own half, Leeds 121, Spurs 87. Passes in the opposition half, 73-57 to Spurs. So, as far as I'm concerned, that kind of shows you exactly the precision which Spurs are actually trying to execute in Leeds in Leeds half right there. And again, when you were looking at some of the early combinations that Spurs were trying to use off the right-hand side, they were taking advantage of that pocket of space quite well. And of course, that's the area of the pitch in which Matisse Tell was able to put that goal past to take the early 1-0 lead, right? But that being said, off the left-hand side, there's been acres of space as well, too. Xavi Simons and Destiny Udogie actually have done a very good job getting forward and being a little dangerous right there. Let's see. Throws, Spurs 8, Leeds 7. Touches in the opposition box, 11 for Leeds, 8 for Spurs. And that's kind of interesting as well, too. Defense tackles, 13-7 Leeds. Interception, Spurs 2, Leeds 1. Clearances, 19 for Spurs, 13 for Leeds. Duels, 26-21 to Leeds. Ground duels, 21-16 to Leeds. Aerial duels is 5-5, and Spurs lead in successful dribbles 5-2. Interesting, right? One of the things that I will say is that I will give Leeds credit because they have been dangerous. They actually have figured out a way to work it into Spurs box. But I will give Spurs credit because for the most part, they've been able to stand tall, except for the equalizing goal. And it turns out it was Destiny Udogie that actually lost track of Okafor. But that being said, man, That's something that has to be rectified at the half. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that there needs to be wholesale changes at the half. I wouldn't even remotely go that far. I think Spurs attack actually has been pretty decent throughout the course of the first half. I think they've done themselves right by being goal dangerous. Right, they just have to finish. I've been actually wildly impressed by Matisse Tell getting the goal, putting himself in a position to get that second, and it's just a finishing matter. More opportunities. The more opportunities for Tell, you probably think that those headers actually come good. But that being said, man, I've loved the movement off the left-hand side between Udogie and Xavi. Even Wilson Odegaard has actually played well off the left-hand side. But that being said, you do see a little bit of an overload off the right-hand side, especially towards the end of that first half. When Mohamed Kudus finds touches, you see two white jerseys converge on the ball, right? So that is something that they're trying to look out for. So it's actually going to create a little bit better of a mismatch off the left-hand side. So I'd like to see them work it a little bit more down the left, getting Xavi and Udogie to combine a little bit more. I don't know, man. That feels like it's going to be a nice little recipe right there for success, but we'll see exactly how this plays out in the second half. Let's go ahead and take a look quickly around the Premier League. Let's see where we are right now. All right, so there's not going to be any. As a matter of fact, there's only one match going on right now. That's Leeds Spurs. Later today, Sunderland travels to Man United. West Ham travels to the Emirates. Liverpool will travel to Chelsea. And then tomorrow, Crystal Palace at Everton. Forest at Newcastle. Brighton at Wolves. Burnley is at Aston Villa. And Man City travels to Brentford. So nothing to report there. So we're at the half, and it's 1-1. Good first half as far as movement goes. I was actually quite impressed with the direct play, and it's interesting, right? Because it looks like Matisse Tell actually showed up today, which was something of a little bit of a concern for me coming into this one, because Matisse Tell so far has yet to take advantage of the time that he's been given. But that being said, he looks like he picked the right time to show up too, getting a goal in that first half, but also finding space in the box to actually make himself a little bit dangerous. He nearly had that second goal off the cross. I believe it was from Destiny Udogie, and it was a nice flick by Xavi Simons that sprung Udogie. And so from that standpoint, man, I was actually very impressed. I don't think there needs to be any halftime changes unless you want to potentially change things up in the midfield. I don't know how you guys felt about Betancourt, but from the most of the run of play in the first half, it didn't look like Betancourt was that much of a liability. I thought Polina played well. Polina obviously taking a yellow. But that being said, I think that was more of a makeup call than anything else. Polina has actually been playing really well. So from that standpoint, I kind of want to see this crew for at least 20 more minutes in the second half before changes can be made, because who knows exactly how that 20 minutes will play out. Although I would like to see the same energy as they were using getting forward early in that first half. I'd like to see that early in the second half as well too. See if they can pull a 2-1 lead and sit back and do what they do best, which is try to be a little bit more compact on the defensive side of the ball. Because outside of the misslip right there by Destiny Udogie with Okafor, they've actually been pretty solid defensively. So yeah, that's the way I look at it. So hopefully, Thomas Frank is saying the right things in the dressing room, because again, I didn't think it was that bad of a first half, even with the conceding goal. For the most part, they've done a very good job of neutralizing Leeds. Granted, they did switch off. Let's just call it what it is, man. They switched off. on that goal, on that conceding goal, giving up too much space off the right side for that cross. But, I will say that both Romero and VDB have played strong. Udoji's played pretty strong. So, you would think that the law of average will tell you that over the course of the next 45, they're going to come good defensively, right? So you learn from the mistake. You make sure that your back post is covered and marked, and those goals don't come through. So we'll see. We'll see how the second half plays out. But from an attacking situation, I think this has actually been, a nice little relevation. What's that? What's the word? Revelation. I don't know why I can't speak English, right? Batiste has actually played pretty well, man. I'll give him credit for credit's due, right? You're just hoping, you're wondering whether that 30 million pound player is going to be able to come good. And it looks like that he's found a little bit of a mismatch off that right-hand side because he's been able to get free. He's been able to wander. And that's something that, unfortunately, Richarlison has had a tough time doing. And when you consider that left side is actually playing pretty well, you would think that there's going to be a little bit more goals coming from this side in the second half. So we'll see how it plays out. I think Xavi played well, utilizing the space off that left-hand side. That flick, by the way, into Destiny Udoji was absolutely brilliant. So we're getting pretty close to the start of the second half. Let me know exactly how you guys felt, how that first half played out. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons, obviously. And man, let me know how you guys felt. What you're feeling in the second half. Do you think there needs to be changes? I certainly don't. I think what we saw was a nice little breath of fresh air right there. I like to be honest with you, man, one of the things that I liked was the physicality getting forward. They weren't easy necessarily to get beat off the ball, although there was that little moment there in the middle of that first half right there where, looked like Kudus got his pocket picked a couple times, but outside of that, man, I thought for the most part, the physicality, holding the ball up and trying to get forward, some good balls forward, but I don't know, man. I thought it was actually pretty good. I thought the space that Leeds was conceding was a little iffy. You would think that those areas of the pitch would be taken away, but sure enough, not so much. We were able to take advantage. So let's see it again. Let's see that again in the second half, and this time let's see some finishing product, right? Because usually, as we've seen over the course of the last three matches, we were struggling to find that key to unlock the attacking third. Today, that's not the issue. That's not the issue at all. As a matter of fact, that key works in that lock, right? Now it's just that last little precision finishing. And all of a sudden, I think that, I think a couple goals can come through in the second half, right? And maybe we can actually put Leeds to the sword early in the second half. So I'm definitely hoping. So tonight was at Saturday Night Live, host Bad Bunny. Who's Bad Bunny? And who calls themselves Bad Bunny? Yeah. As here on, the USA Network on NBC. Yeah, they're having a little plug for Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you guys get that over in the UK, but anyway. It's certainly not the show it was, but it looks like players are out. As we're getting set for the second half, let me know exactly how you felt the first half played out, what your expectations are for the second half. Also, hit that like and subscribe buttons. There's Tommy Frank. The Danish wizard. Can Danes be wizards? I don't think so. It's not a bad little nickname, though. As we are getting ready to start for the second half here, Leeds will have possession. Ooh, that was nearly picked off right there. As that one gets played back. As they'll work it around off the left-hand side. Good press right there. Looked like that was Caduce. As Leeds will throw this one in, and as this one gets played all the way back to the keeper. And now Leeds will try to play this one down the left-hand side. Oh, nice play by Matisse Tell, who picks the back pocket. And it gets played all the way over. Here's Destiny Udoji. And he lays it off as it gets played back to Mikey Van de Ven. Here comes Romero now. Oh, that's a nice pass. As it's Rodrigo Betancourt who lays it off. Nice pass by. Ooh, that was a good ball over the. That was a good through ball right there off the cross by Mohamed Kudus. Ooh. As looks like Polina is down. That was Pedro Porro as Kudus played Porro forward. As that one was parried away by Barlow. I don't know if that was a shot or a cross, but god damn it, that was beautiful. And again, Spurs are finding pockets of space down the right-hand flank. As now there's a whistle. It looks like that's going to go against Destiny Udoji, and the rain is starting to fall in Leeds. And I'm told there is I guess you can say a storm of brewing around the area of the Pennines. I hope I pronounced that right. And that one's turned over. Oh, and Romero closes it down. Now here comes Spurs. That ball's going to get played forward. It's Xavi. Oh. Who am I rooting for? Spurs, obviously. Here comes Leeds now. Oh, nice play. Shoots. Oh, nice save right there by Vicario. How did they allow that runner to spin in? As that ball is going to get played off the right-hand side. That ball's in. Ooh, and it goes through too. Oh. As Dominic Calvert-Lewin crashed the net and it had Okafor off the left-hand side. That was a brilliant ball in. And it just missed. Holy shit. Spurs are lucky. This thing wasn't 2-1. And by the way, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin off the half turn put one on. And what was Xavi doing right there? Jesus Christ, Xavi. As this will be a Spurs throw in here. As that one will take a deflection off of Stosh, so this will be a goal kick for Spurs. As Leeds just had two very good looks at net right there. And Spurs are very fortunate not to be down 2-1 at this point. As Dominic Calvert-Lewin off the half turn put one on that was brilliantly saved by Vicario. As play resumes. Ooh, taken away. Oh, nice. Here's Wilson Odobert. And that gets worked all the way around to Romero. Here comes Romero now. As Porter will play this back to Betancourt. That's Polina. And that ball goes a little too far forward. intended for Wilson Odebear off that left-hand side. There was just nobody there. And Romero now will hold possession as this ball gets worked down to Caduce, 1v1 on the right-hand side. Here's Caduce, has to lay it back to Pedro Porro. Here's Palhinha. Palhinha looked like it took a deflection as he tried to make the switch, but that's taken away. Here's Udogie. Ooh, he plays it through the 6-yard. There's just nobody there. Ugh. Nobody was there. Ugh. And it looks like Caduce will hand this one off, as Udogie will be responsible for this throw-in. God damn it. Somebody's got to make a run. As we were waiting for this throw-in here, it's Destiny Udogie. As that gets played in, headed forward. Here's Porro. And he's got to play this one back. As it's Pedro Porro. That ball gets deflected on its way in, but Porro will retain it. Here's Xavi. And there is a whistle. And it's a yellow. Looks like that's going against Ethan Ampadu. Oh, yeah. I don't know about that one. Do I think Haji Wright is a Premier League level striker? Oh, that's a great question. By the way, I love Haji Wright. And I'm glad that Frank Lampard has moved him as a target 9, because I think he's got the physicality and the speed and the pace actually to make a very good striker at the championship level. The question is he a Premier League level striker? You know what? I'm going to say yes, and I'm not saying that because I'm an American. I'm saying that because I think Haji Wright actually does have the physical tools to do it right. But I think it all depends on the system in which he's playing. I think that would depend. I think that would depend on the success, right? So you actually have to have a manager that knows how to play Haji. It would be interesting though, right? Would I think that, he would succeed at a team like Everton? 100%. 100%. I want to welcome in Audio Artisan. What's up, bud? And it says, we're doing it the hard way as usual. Yeah, well, not really. I would say that, judging off the first half and just the way that we were able to get forward, it's a lot different than what we saw against Wolves. All than what we saw against. So yeah, from that standpoint, but it looks like there's going to be a free kick here as the physios are going to take Pedro Porro off, and it looks like Jed Spence might get ready. Nobody is standing out. Nobody's standing out. So are you saying that Matisse Tell hasn't stood out today? Because I'll tell you what, man, this might be one of Matisse Tell's better performances. I'll be the first one to say it, right? The goal was actually a really good goal, and I thought he's had multiple cracks as well too. I think he's been getting himself into good positions, right? I like the way that Xavi and Udogie have worked themselves down the left-hand side. I think that's been dangerous. As Kudus will put one on right into the gut of the keeper. That's not exactly the best free kick right there. He said, "Yeah, tell took his good guy, took his goal well, but yeah, nobody. I don't know, man. I like the I like some of the some of the runs that we've seen off both sides. I think we've taken advantage of space pretty well. Although that, by the way, conceding that goal, that was ugly though. Udoji turned off. That ball gets played in. That's going to go over the head. So that'll be a goal kick. But yeah, no. I will say that considering prior to the match, when you're looking at the attacking three, you're wondering where the goals were going to be coming from, just because we've seen Matisse Tell have bad games. We've seen Odebear not show up, and it just seems like those two specifically have played pretty well today. Xavi at the 10 has looked pretty well. No, man. Listen. Leeds has conceded space, and I think we've done well to take advantage of it. Yeah, I understand. Let's see. Poch lost on dual national. Yeah, but that wasn't Poch's job, man. Poch wasn't brought in to recruit dual nationals, man. The interesting thing about it is the powers that be at U.S. Soccer has deemed this golden generation worthy of potentially getting to a semifinal. That's why Poch was hired, to get this golden generation. That's a shot on goal. Woo! And it's Kudus. What a goal. Boom. Mohamed Kudus from outside. As we'll take a look at this one again real quick. I apologize for interrupting Crest 11. By the way, make sure you hit your like and subscribe buttons. But the reality is, look at this. Look at this. So Pedro Porro plays it forward. And Kudus cuts in. And he just puts one on. Oh, by the way, that was terrible positioning from the goalie as well, too. He thought it was going to the other side. And Kudus tucks it into the near post. That was a hell of a goal right there by Kudus. And again, it takes a little bit of a deflection off a defender. But there it is. 2-1 Spurs. There it is. That was a good finish. And you said nobody was standing out, Audio. And you said nobody's standing out. All of a sudden, Spurs grab a 2-1 lead now. As that ball gets played out, so this will be a Spurs throw-in. You want to recant what you were saying, Audio? I'll give you time. Don't worry. Spurs have the throw-in here. Here's Pedro Porro. And here comes Spurs now down the right-hand side. It's Kudus. Finds Pedro Porro. He's going to go centrally. Here comes Udoji. Odebear. Here's Palhinha. Udoji has to track back for it, but he's going to try to get around. Oh, in the box. Here's Udoji. Ooh, and it goes through again. Oh, Udoji has found himself right off the left-hand side playing balls into the 6 yard, and there's just nobody there. Nobody there. Where's Matisse? And Kudus off the back post. See, this is where not actually having a competent striker. This is why we're not necessarily getting these type of goals. But that being said, this is the first time where I've seen all season where we're just being in position where we're just playing balls into the box. That one goes in, and there's nobody there. Here comes Spurs off the break. It's Xavi. Yeah, Spurs. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like in matches prior, we were talking about them not necessarily having the key to unlock the attacking third. Today, the key perfectly works fine. It's just that little bit of finishing that's eluding Spurs here. As that was the second time this half that the second time in the match where Udogie finds himself at the end line, putting one across the 6 yard. There's just nobody there to finish. Yeah, as this will be a free kick here. Yeah, but getting back to your question, Crest 11. Yeah, that wasn't, Poch wasn't hired to recruit dual nationals. He's here to win with this golden generation that's been deemed good enough to get to the to a quarterfinal or semifinal. There's a reason why that's really been the focus so far. Why we haven't seen any dual national recruitment. He's not here for that. And that's the other issue is, let's say that they had gotten Nathaniel Brown. Would you have any confidence that he would actually get run? It was only until last window did we see a back three, right? You think he's getting any run over Tim Ream? No. As Spurs now will have the restart. Here's Pedro Porro. Porro's going to have to play this one forward, and there's just nobody there. That Spurs were pinned back pretty decent. As Leeds now will move this quickly up the left-hand side. And it's Kudus. As that ball gets played in. Try to play the 1-2 with Matisse Till. That one goes out. So Leeds has the throw in here. As that ball gets played forward. As now there's the switch to the right-hand side. Nice switch right there. As that one finds its way out. As Boyle will play this one in. As that one's turned over. And Spurs can't find a handle. That's a good ball and taken away. From Rodrigo Betancourt, yeah, there's going to be a whistle. Good interception right there. As now Okafor and Romero. Come together. Ooh, there's some shoving. There's a yellow. It's been pulled. As Okafor will get the yellow. As Romero was having none of it. As Romero gets the yellow too. All right. Spurs cling into a 2-1 lead. As Mohamed Kudus has a nice finish right there. That was a good ball forward. As play restarts, here's Kudus. And Kudus is now going to play this one back to Vicario. Oh, that's a nice flick forward. Here comes Xavi. Xavi's with space. Xavi's going to play it off to Kudus. Kudus lays it off to Xav. Xav plays one over. Here's Porro. Oh. Xavi. Yeah, I kind of agree with that one. That was a nice flick, by the way, by Xavi. It was just a horrible touch by Pedro Porro right there. Good run by Porro. Had nothing but space. Ugh. I feel like we might need Sar. Yeah, I think that might be a good call. Do you bring Betancourt off? I kind of feel like we could use a little bit more central presence, a little higher up the pitch, right? I don't think Betancourt necessarily does a good job in that department. That's a nice little ball rip right there by Romero, and now Polini hits the deck. Yeah, like I feel like Sar coming on, not only can he play deep, but he also has the ability to play a little higher up the pitch. We get a little bit more, more runs from the central areas as now Brendan Aronson comes off for Leeds. And we have Mr. Ponytail coming on. I will have some of those names in just a second. As it's going to be Harrison on for Aronson. And we have Tanaka on for Stach. Ooh, a Tanaka. As play resumes, there's Pedro, who plays it forward to Caduce. Nice little touch. And it looks like Tell wasn't there. Ooh, nice play by Polina. And Spurs will take possession here. Yeah, like here's the thing. It's like I wouldn't mind seeing who would I mind not seeing here? Yeah, Papstar makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like that's outside of that, it's like, the guy that I don't want to see is Brendan Johnson. I think that kind of makes us far more weaker off the left-hand side. Like, Johnson maybe in the 90th minute if we're up 3-1. But outside of that, no, not at all, as that ball gets played forward. And that's taken away by VDV. And it's Vicario. He plays it up the right-hand side. Here's Caduce. That dude's a mountain. He cannot be beaten off the ball. That's a bad pass, though. And Leeds will try to play this one forward. It's Okafor off the left-hand side. 1v1 against Pedro. Held in by Leeds. As we're approaching the 70th minute, Spurs cling into a 2-1 lead. And that's going to get taken away. Here comes Xavi. And that's going to be taken away from Xavi. And there's going to be a whistle here. Oi. 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 I don't know, man. Who would you like to see audio? Like, I don't think Brendan Aronson makes this team. Not Brendan Aronson. I don't think Brendan Johnson makes this team better. I don't think Richarlison makes this team better at this point. Papstar, yes. Maybe even Archie Gray. I wouldn't mind seeing, like, if you want to go down that route, as that ball is going to try to get played up the right-hand side, deflected. And it's Rodrigo Betancourt, who can't get a handle on it. As Leeds is going to have to reset here. Nice pass. As Leeds did a good job of breaking the press right there, as that one goes all the way to the left-hand side. And it's Tanaka. As he's going to try to drift a little centrally. Now he's going to have to dump this one off. That one goes all the way to the left. Oh, good pass right there. Shoots! Ooh, boy, that went wide left. Oh, he had a good look too. Oh, Sarr and maybe Richie for his physicality, huh? Yeah, I don't know if Richie makes this team better. Yeah, I guess. Wouldn't mind seeing Richie coming in off the left, maybe. As it looks like Pap Sarr is about ready to check in. So there's Pap. And it looks like, yeah, you're right. Richarlison's getting ready too. So it looks like there's going to be a double switch here for our beloved Tottenham Hotspur as that ball gets worked to the left. And now it's going to go back to Mr. VDB. I fucking love VDB. As that one gets out, so Leeds will have possession here. By the way, man, there's nothing better than seeing that tactic board that that Thomas Frank uses. I don't know. I just enjoy it. As that ball gets played to the left here. As it's offside. Yep, I think you're right. I think you're very right. We're going to have to scrap. So Spurs will make a couple changes here. As Matisse Tell finds himself down on the ground again. He's going to have to hobble off. As Matisse Tell, actually, I think Matisse Tell played his best match so far in this year, at least in a Spurs in a Spurs shirt. Getting a goal, he almost had a second, and I think that's going to help his cause. As now Richarlison will check on, and Xavi will come off. So we will see Pap Sarr underneath with Richarlison up top. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Yeah, look at that. Look at that pigeon tattoo that he's got on his neck. I'm all for neck tattoos, man, but he's really leaning into the pigeon identity. As it looks like, is that Romero that's down? As Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, it is Romero. As we watch the replay again, oh, and it looks like Dominic Calvert-Lewin came right into the family jewels right there. That was knee to balls right there. God damn it. Yeah, and it looks like yeah, Romero has to take a breather right there. You just got straight knee to the he straight took knee to balls. That one's gonna take a second to walk off right there. As Leeds is under press right here. That's a very good takeaway right there. So here comes Spurs now. It burst his airbag. Yeah, you know what's funny is you can't come spikes up, obviously, but you also can't come knee knee up to the balls either. Here comes Caduce now up the right hand side. Plays it forward. Here's Pedro. And that one's taken away. As he overplayed that ball. Oh, that's a nice little deflection right there. as Richarlison's doing a good job. That gets out, and it'll be a Leeds throw in here. Yeah, that went straight right in. Knee to head and straight knee to shaft. As this one's going to get played all the way back to the keeper. As Leeds now will try to work it down the left-hand side. And that's going to get played back. As now we're going to try to play this one down the right-hand side here. Oh, nice pass right there. Trying to play it forward, and that gets out. As that one, it was like a 1-2 with Dominic Calvert-Lewin and yeah, a little too far forward. As it looks like Leeds is going to make another couple of changes here. As we're in the 76th minute now, as VDV will play this one forward. Good touch. And yeah, that's going to be a foul right there on Pedro Porro. Against Okafor. As Leeds now will hold possession. As Spurs are trying to get the monkey off their back as far as losses heading into the international break. Spurs trying to get the 3 points and end a pretty impressive streak of, I think, what is it? They haven't won heading into the break since 2023. So what was it, October of 2023? So, you know, a 2-year streak. As that's a turnover right here. As that ball gets ripped. Here comes Leeds now. As that shot goes wide right. It looks like that might have been Bogle. As it looks like Gudmundsson will come off. And it looks like Okafor's coming off now. So it looks like Nchata comes on for Gudmundsson. And it looks like Piro comes on for Okafor. So Leeds now is trying to bring a little firepower onto the pitch, trying to find the equalizer. As Richarlison as this ball is now going to get worked up the left-hand side. Oh, nice recovery. Here's Paulinha. As Papsar has nowhere to go, so they're going to have to reset here. As Vicario will play it long. All right, man. A little goalie-on-goalie crime right there. As Vicario played it all the way back to his counterpart. And now Leeds will have possession. That just seems like it was a complete waste of possession for Spurs. As Leeds will try to work it along its back line here. And that one's taken away. Here comes Kudus. Plays it centrally to Sar. Sarr will now work it off to the left. Sloppy touches here by Spurs. As that one has to get played back. Come on, boys. That pass is taken away. Leeds will work it down the left-hand side. That gets played out. Can't afford these mistakes late in the match here as we're in the 80th minute. 10 minutes to play now. Can Spurs find the third as that ball gets played in? And that'll get out for a goal kick. I think that memory serves me correct. I think they just had a shot to the Gray family. That younger kid looked exactly like Archie. Speaking of which, there's Arch. As here comes Leeds, playing it down their left-hand side. Nice tackle right there by Rodrigo Betancourt as that gets out for a throw-in. Leeds is trying to move quickly now. As there's a switch to the right-hand side. Now it'll go left. Now that ball goes in, deflected away. Now Porto will play this up the right-hand side, and that gets, it stays in. Wow. Interesting. That looked like it was headed straight out. That's now Leeds will set up here. And now they'll get it played out to the right. Good touch right there. And here comes Leeds. Marching forward. As this one goes down the right-hand side here. As that ball moves inside. And quickly back out to the right. There's a whistle. As Mohamed Kudus seems like the only one willing to press here. And it looks like Kevin Danso is about to check into this one. And it looks like, off comes Wilson Odebear, and it looks like Spurs are going to transition to a back five here as Kevin Danso will check in. Yeah, I kind of like this one. I kind of like this change here. As Odebear comes off, here comes Kevin Danso. And it looks like Spurs now are going to transition tactically here. As here comes Leeds. As that gets played all the way to the right. Oh, nice takeaway right there. Played forward. Here's Destiny Udogie. And that ball gets taken away. As here comes Leeds. as this one will go down to the left-hand side. Ball forward, and there's Vicario. Good way to clean that one up. As Vicario comes off his line well. Danso looks like he'll chip that one forward. As Betancourt was late to the party there. Now Leeds again will hold possession. Oh dear. As that ball gets played in. And that's just way, 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 way too far forward. As it looks like, Spurs gave Leeds a gift right there, as Vicario, not Vicario, but as VDV didn't do a good job as that ball stayed in. Leeds was able to get a cross in, but too heavy of a cross. So this will be a goal kick here for Vicario as he skies this one down the right side. Oh, that gets over. Here comes. Ooh, it was Richarlison. As that ball got over, and Richarlison made a nice little turn right there to get forward. And I think this goes out for a cross. Nice little turn by Richarlison to get free. So this will be a corner for Spurs. As we're pushing the 87th minute now. A couple more minutes left here. Spurs are clinging to a one goal lead here. You would like to see another one right here. Put this one away. As Polini is sitting at the back post here. As Pedro Porro is dealing with some projectiles over there. It looks like we're going to be ready here for the kick. Arm goes up. Ball gets whipped in. And that one skies the entire area. Pedro. Good Lord, bud. As it looks like both Spurs and Leeds will make a change here. And it looks like Bogle comes off for Leeds. And coming on will be Justin. And it does look like Brennan Johnson's about to check into this one. As that ball gets played forward, headed back. And Spurs will hold possession here. Here's Pedro. Pedro's going to play this one forward. And there's nobody there except for white shirts. Here comes Leeds as they try to switch it to the left. Here's Tanaka, who's going to go to the right side now. That ball's going to get played in. Back post. And Vicario. Oh, and they're going to say there's a foul. As we see it, that ball goes to the back post as Dominic Calvert-Lewin headed it up as Vicario was going to play the ball. There's a whistle. And now Mohamed Kudus will come off here in the 89th and a half minute. And here comes Brennan Johnson now to close this thing out. As we're approaching the 90th minute. And looks like there will be 6 added minutes now And we'll see if Spurs can hold on here. Here's Ampadu. The Welsh international. Wales has got a nice little team. As that one will be headed back in. And that ball was placed wide right. As we're approaching the 91st minute now. 5 minutes remain. Leeds trails 2-1. As now Vicario will kick this long. As that was played forward. That ball was searching for Harrison. As now Leeds is going to play this off to the right now. As that ball is going to get delivered in. And that's going to be headed out. And they're going to say goal kick. I think that might have been the right call. As we're in the 92nd minute now. As Vicario will play this long. 3 minutes, 4 minutes remain. As if the score line remains, Spurs will have won 3 straight away against Leeds, which has never really happened in the Premier League era for Spurs. As that one gets played all the way back to Vicario. As that one gets played forward, there's just nobody there. Spurs also 3 minutes away from getting the monkey off their back, getting a win before the international break as that ball gets played forward. Headed down. Shoots. Save. Ooh, Vicario. On Pirro. As that ball gets played forward, it looks like it might have been, it was Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And Pirro off the half turn puts one on, and that was a hell of a save right there by Vicario, and it was Udoji who plays it out. So Spurs, very fortunate right there. Good save right there by Vicario. He's a good shot stopper. As now we're approaching the 94th. Can Spurs hold on here? That ball gets played in. And it's Struik. I think that goes off the. They're going to say corner. Okay. As we're in the 94th now. 2 minutes to the final whistle. As that ball goes in. Back post. Headed away. Cleared. And now Leeds will have to do it again. As that play gets played back, and there's Vicario. Oh, boy. And João Palhinha and Vicario collide. You guys are fine. As they replay that last ball in, as Leeds was looking for a penalty. As they rule an accidental contact on Streak. As we are now approaching the 96th minute, and Vicari will launch. As we have reached full allotment of time. Here comes Leeds. As we're at 60 and a half, 96 and a half. As this will be out for a Spurs throw-in. As we're waiting for the final whistle, and it looks like Spurs will get the 3. As that's a throw-in. Headed forward. As Brennan Johnson will just play this. We'll shoot this all the way down. 97th minute. There it is. Spurs get the win. As their road form still continues to hang on, as now Spurs move in to a tie for second place with Bournemouth at 14 points. Spurs have a +8 goal differential. That's an absolute monumental win right before the international break. Great win for Spurs. As Leeds put a very good performance up, but it was not quite enough. As the goal scorers today were Matisse Tell in the 23rd and Mohamed Kudus in the 57th. And Spurs walk away from Elland Road with a 2-1 victory over Leeds. And Audio Artisan says it wasn't pretty, but a win's a win. Yeah, I actually thought this actually was one of their better victories from a standpoint of, offensive attack. When you look at the last couple matches and you saw the way that they were stagnant, there were times where they couldn't figure out what to do. And today it looked like they were getting forward quite regularly. They were taking advantage of some of the space that Leeds were able to give them. And, I think they did a good job of taking advantage of it. From that standpoint, man, you have to give them credit. And of course, Matisse Tell getting a solid goal. And that's nice to see as well, too. And of course, Mohamed Kudus getting on the board. That's absolutely wonderful to see. And I will say that, they looked a little shaky. But that being said, as soon as Kevin Danso came in and they went to a back 5, that seemed to work itself out. But yeah, see, I'm with you, right? I think there was a lot more movement today. I think their 1-2s down both sides was something that they can definitely build off of, right? One of the things coming in to this one was specifically that left-hand side, right? How that interchange between Udogie and Odebear was going to look like, and then when you added Xavi Simons into that mix, how was that going to look like? And I thought especially in the first half, I thought the movement down the left hand side was actually quite dangerous, especially playing Udogie forward. That was absolutely nice to see it. Udogie put in three very good balls into the 6-yard box, and if had we actually gotten some forward runs, maybe all of a sudden that turns into 3, potentially 4. But a 2-1 win, you're going to take it. And now all of a sudden Spurs are sitting on 14 points at the international break. And I couldn't be more pleased. This was a very good victory today. and it's nice watching Spurs right now celebrate the supporters. So yeah, I agree. Xavi in the 10 looks a lot better. Yeah, but that being said, man, you also have to look at the fact that that attacking four doesn't have all their pieces yet. So from that standpoint, you look at it and you can't be anything but pleased with today's result. I will be back in just a second. Here's a word from our sponsors.
Let me talk to you. A little reference there, but I'm going to stop messing about. I'm going to talk to you about private internet access, the best VPN in the land. Now, when you're online, you may not realize, but all of your data is there for the taking by anybody. With a VPN such as private internet access, your data is safe and secure, streamlined, and nobody else can get hold of it. That's why I use one anyway. VPN's very easy to use. Private internet access, all you got to do is log on your phone, select where you want to be. So I want to be in America, and I click go, and there we are. You can also link up your devices to it from your phone if that is easier for you. It's available on a lot of platforms as well, as you can see, and you can use it for a very, very big range of things. So that's even better as well. You can use it, like I said, on all your devices, smartphone, tablets, gaming consoles, and stick it on your modem, and it's unlimited devices. One equals all. It's available all across the world, and it works perfectly. What they do is they mask your IP address, so pesky 3 o'clock kickoffs aren't an issue anymore, and they're independently audited, so there's no logs, 30 million customers, and 4.5-star Trustpilot rated excellent review. Private internet access. Get yours now.
Absolutely. And of course, if you're looking for a VPN, PIA is the way to go. You get the exact same privacy and security as you have for all those leading VPNs at half the price. And of course, if you're over in the UK, 40 quid a month, man, I don't think you can beat that. So private internet access. All right. So Spurs win 2-1 today. And of course, I thought both sides of the ball played pretty well. Now, granted, of course, they concede what I consider an ugly goal. But that being said, it didn't rattle them, right? This was not going to be one of those matches where the entire sky falls. They rebounded nicely and kept Leeds from doing more damage. And when you look at and we're taking a look at Kudus's goal right now, God damn it, that was a pretty finish. But that's the thing. It's like, Spurs teams of the past, a bad goal concede. Obviously, the waterwork was on at that point, as they usually would allow more than one to go through. But I like the way that this team rallied. And especially at the half when it was 1-1, there may have been an inclination to try to make changes. Thomas Frank decides to stay with his 11, and it pays off as Spurs in the 57th minute take the lead 2-1. That's where they end up holding on, as Leeds held a bulk of possession towards the end of the second half, and it didn't matter as Spurs hold on 2-1. That is going to do it for me. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Take care, guys. Ugh.